Mason Terra doesn't just make art, he pushes boundaries. A Westport native, Terra has built his identity as an abstract artist through years of experimentation and curiosity. From early encouragement in his hometown to recent high-profile projects beyond its borders, Terra's journey reflects an artist growing outward while remaining grounded in where he began.
I have always been like a creative person, but I didn't start taking painting seriously till around 2021, like right around the pandemic. I just had all this like free time on my hands, and I started drawing and painting, and eventually started taking it a bit more seriously, and my work started to pick up traction, and so that's when I decided to switch over my major at Bridgewater State to fine arts. I originally went to school for archaeology to become like a paleontologist, study bones and artifacts and stuff, but kind of took a leap of faith during the pandemic when I realized like how quickly my life could change. So I decided to do something that I was like really passionate about, something I knew I would work hard for, and haven't changed since. Got my degree in fine arts. I also minored in art history, and I've been working here at my studio for a couple years now, and at Co-Creative, and I really like it.
At his studio, Mason creates a variety of pieces from sketches on paper to expansive canvas paintings. He experiments with numerous paints and does his research to hone in on his own specific style and practice.
So my favorite kind of artwork to create is the more conceptual and like abstract sort of stuff. I'd say some of my like biggest influences are artists like Francis Bacon, Mark Rothko, Willem de Kooning. I really like those guys. And I always like to work big scale. I think like the bigger the better. And so I find it more fun to just kind of set myself up in a way where I can scribble around and make figures and make lines in a way that's just kind of fun, refreshing, and not taken too seriously. I don't really take my artwork all that seriously, but I still want to make sure I put out a nice piece of artwork. So yeah, I really like those artists. That's more of the kind of stuff I do. I branch out. It's kind of like a spectrum of like how abstract or how figurative I want something to be, but I kind of lean more towards like the gestural, figurative sort of side. Colorful as well.
Recently, Terra completed a large-scale project for a restaurant in New Bedford, marking another step in his expanding career. The project allowed him to bring his signature abstract style into a public, communal space, one where texture, color, and emotion interact with everyday life.
How the whole project came about was very random and like lucky, I guess. I had been accepted for a residency to go to the Azores and work for 10 days. And the architect of the new restaurant, the National Club, they were looking for an artwork that kind of was large scale, colorful, energetic, and amidst talking with the owner of the residency, that they were friends, they brought up that, you know, I have someone that's doing the residency. They kind of what you're looking for, big, colorful, energetic, and so they kind of sent my number over, got in contact, and was like, hey, you know, will you be able to do this? It's quite an endeavor, but I think it could be good. We're looking for like 4 big paintings for the outside panels. And I was like, yeah, why not? I think I could do it. Came up with the sizes to fit everything right. You know, buying the supplies, getting it to the studio, constructing it all at the studio was all like a lot of work, but super rewarding. It was very cool to see something come from like an idea and just kind of like talking about it, and just like seeing the sizes on paper is very different from seeing them in real life and like seeing them on the wall. And so it was really cool to like just work on them and let them give me like the creative kind of freedom to create something that would look nice in their restaurant.
That sense of exploration was also evident in one of his most unconventional projects to date, a glass box performance in which Terra portrayed an artificial intelligence. Sealed inside the transparent structure, he interacted with viewers as if he were a machine, responding, observing, and existing somewhere between human creativity and digital imitation.
For 24 hours, I stayed in a box. It was a glass box where people could see me, and there was a computer in the gallery space where people could submit a drawing prompt. It would enter a queue, and it would pop up on a monitor right in front of me. And so whatever was up in the queue, I had, a few minutes to draw whatever was on the screen. And once I finished the drawing, I would throw it out the box, and they could take the drawing home and keep. It was just a free drawing. And so people could also do it from their home and check the live stream. It was all live streamed all 24 hours. You could submit a prompt through my website and watch me from your phone make that piece of artwork. Albeit they were just crayon drawings, but pretty fast. And it was kind of like a take on artificial intelligence. It's a pretty big thing nowadays. Everyone's generating images and videos, and I was doing that myself, playing around with different models and experimenting and seeing what kind of things it could create. And so I wanted to take that idea and push the envelope, like I said before. And so I was what if I was the AI and people prompted me to make artwork? And so I came up with the idea to just trap myself, and I was the little monkey inside the box making drawings for people. And a lot of people got a bunch of drawings, and they would submit something that they expected one thing but got something else, because it's not, and that happens with AI, but it's me that you're prompting. And I wanted that to be kind of aware throughout the whole performance, I call it. For example, some person typed in sloth, and they probably assumed I was going to do the animal sloth, three-toed sloth or whatever, but they got the guy from the Goonies. So it's the guy with the Superman shirt, and it was what is this? Isn't the sloth? And I could hear everyone outside the box. You're yeah, it is. That's from the Goonies. The guy who eats the the candy bar and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I was looking for, something different. And I'd like to do it again. And kind of travel with the box. I still have it here at the studio, kind of taken apart. So I would like to go to different universities maybe, and kind of go there for a couple hours and do a show there, do a performance. But it's just a cool portable idea. Everyone likes free artwork, especially when they see it get made from a man inside of a glass box. It's not every day you get to have a piece like that.
Despite his growing presence beyond Westport, Terra is quick to credit the town that shaped him.
Westport in general is just a very, like you said, it's kind of a close town. You kind of know a lot of people in a short vicinity. And I think that sort of attention is both a good and a bad thing. It's great having such a tight-knit community, and you get especially with teachers, you get such a personal experience when at least you go to the school. But outside of the school, you try and do things, and everyone sees it, so it's kind of difficult to break through that and not just be a kid from Westport. And so really not being afraid to release what you want, paint what you want, do what you want, and kind of venture out into the neighboring cities and towns. It's kind of it's difficult at first. It's a bit nerve-wracking. But if you take that core group that you have in Westport and you don't forget about them, you keep them there, they just support you. That's at least what I've learned. Just nothing but support from, my past classmates, past teachers. It's all very, and that's something that you get from a small community like Westport. And, they remember you because they didn't have to remember 400 kids per class. They have to remember less than 100.
It's the relationships he created that encouraged him to create freely and think independently. Now, Mason is paying it forward, using his experience to inspire others who are unsure about taking the leap toward what they love.
It doesn't come to you. You need to go towards it. And if you really, 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 really want something, you'll kind of do whatever it takes to get there. And so, whatever field you're going into, you really gotta read about it, study it, practice. Don't think you're going to just go into something and be awesome at it right away. It's just really not the case. I think with a lot of people that want to take that jump, they also kind of have an expectation that they're just going to get it, or it's just going to come to them if they manifest it or something. It's just really not the case. You can repeat over and over to yourself, I'm going to, get my work in the Louvre one day, or I'm going to get my work in the MoMA one day. Those things can 100% happen, but you really, really need to work hard. And if you feel deep down inside that you're not working hard enough, you just got to keep working harder. Don't kill yourself doing it, but you really need to work. In those times where, before I switched my major over, before I made that jump, I really did my studying. I read my books. I practiced, drawing. You really have to be crazy about it if you really want it to see results. You can't expect to do a split first try. You're gonna have to stretch and practice and do exercises, and if you really want something, you'll do all those things to get to where you want. So just keep that fire in your belly, and you know what you need to do to get there, and so you just gotta plan and execute.
As Mason Terra continues to evolve, experimenting with performance, public art, and abstraction, his journey stands as a testament to the power of community. No matter how far his art travels, Westport remains at the heart of his story.
When you revisit, they remember you, and they remember the times that you had together, and so they just want nothing but to see you succeed. And so I think that's the overall mood of Westport. The overall feeling is they want you to be good and break out of Westport, but not forget where you came from.